boys and girls of grade 5, and welcome to another English language lesson. I'm your teacher, Miss Melissa, and today we will be looking at negative sentences in English language. So boys and girls, do you know what is a negative sentence? Well, let me tell you. A negative sentence or statement states that something is not true or incorrect or tells of something that would not occur. Negative sentences are declarative sentences. That is, they tell or give information. Negative sentences are the opposite of positive sentences and are necessary to express an opposing idea. Negative sentences always contain negative words. Let's take a look at some examples of negative words. The most common negative word there is, can you guess what that is? Yes, the most common negative word is no. Something that we don't like to hear. Other negative words include not, never, nor, none, nothing, nowhere, nobody, no one, neither, hardly, barely, scarcely, seldom, and rarely. Negative words can also include the contracted form of words that include not. For example, doesn't, that means does not. Won't, that means will not. Don't, that means do not. Wasn't, that means was not. And can't, that means cannot, are all examples of negative words. So boys and girls, how do we form negative sentences? Here are a few tips. The negative word no can be used before nouns to form negative sentences. For example, if we say, there are plums on the tree, that there is a positive sentence. But if we want to change it to a sentence of negation or a negative sentence, we can place the word no before the noun plums. And so the negative sentence would read, there were no plums on the tree. So boys and girls, tip 1 tells us that if we want to form a negative sentence, we can place the word no before nouns. Additionally, negative sentences are created by placing an auxiliary verb and not before the main verb. Therefore, you must use not after the auxiliary verbs is, are, am, has, have, was, and were. So, take for example, we might say, the girls are going to the party. To change it to a negative sentence, we can say, the girls are not going to the party. We have the auxiliary verb are and the word not before the main verb going. Further, when forming negative sentences in the past tense, use did not with the present tense. So take for example, we say, Patrick danced at the concert. That there is a positive sentence. To change this sentence to its negative form, we can use the words did not before the present tense form of danced. Therefore, we can have Patrick did not dance at the concert. Also, the contracted form of some words can also be used in negative sentences. For example, she doesn't want to study is a negative sentence because it really means she does not want to study. Also, they wouldn't finish until later this evening. This sentence really means they would not finish until later this evening. Also, boys and girls, I'm sure you have heard the statement, two wrongs don't make a right. That's certainly true of grammar. Applying two negative words or statements to the same subject is a double negative and always is a grammatical error and a guaranteed confusion for readers. So, we must only use one negative word in a sentence. That is, we must avoid double negatives. Double negatives are two negative words in the same sentence. Double negatives are generally discouraged in English language because they are considered to be poor grammar and they can be very confusing. For example, I do not have nothing is not grammatically correct as there are two negative words in that sentence. The words not and nothing forms a double negative in that sentence. Rather, the sentence should read, I do not have anything. Another example might be, I don't have no money. Don't and no are both negative words. We should say rather, I don't have any money or I don't have money. Another example might be, we don't hardly see you anymore. That is a no-no. We should say, we hardly see you anymore or we don't see you anymore. So boys and girls, let's make an attempt at these exercises. In this first exercise, we will change positive sentences to negative sentences. Remember our list of negative words. So let's get to it. First one, Mary is a generous person. How would you change this positive sentence to a negative one? Definitely, boys and girls, we can say Mary is not a generous person. Good job. Number 2, doctors attended to their patients last night. Remember what we do when we want to change sentences in the past tense to a negative sentence. Definitely, we need to add the words did not and the present tense of attend to form this negative sentence. So your answer should be, doctors did not attend to their patients last night. You've been doing a great job so far. So let's move on. He plays the guitar every day. What is the negative sentence for this positive one? Yes, boys and girls, the answer would be, he does not play the guitar every day. Next, put your things at the side of the cupboard. How can we form the negative version of this sentence? Yes, the answer would be, do not put your things at the side of the cupboard. And lastly, my cousin lives in Barbados. What is this sentence in its negative form? We're on our way to getting all correct if we have my cousin does not live in Barbados. Great. So let's move on. Here, we will rewrite the following sentences correctly. Therefore, boys and girls, we must look keenly in these sentences to check if there are any double negatives. Number 1. I don't have no friends. This sentence is grammatically incorrect. We have the negative words don't and no coming in one sentence. Take some time to correct this sentence. So, let's check in with those answers. You might have written in your exercise books, I don't have any friends. If you did, fantastic job. Or you might have simply written, I don't have friends. So the correct version of this sentence would be, I don't have any friends, or I don't have friends. Number 2, I couldn't hardly wait to get to the party. We have two negative words, hardly and couldn't, coming in one sentence. Go ahead and correct it. Your answer should be, I could hardly wait to get to the party. Also, you can have, I couldn't wait to get to the party. Both are the correct versions of this sentence. Let's go on. Neither fish nor chicken weren't at the party. We have a double negative coming in that sentence. The words neither and weren't are both negative words. So let's correct. Our answer should be, neither fish nor chicken was at the party. Or we can have, fish or chicken weren't at the party. Great. Moving on. He is not going nowhere. Double negative once again. So let's get on to correct the sentence. Boys and girls, you should have written, he is not going. Or you can have, he is not going anywhere. Number 5, we did not have none to lend him. Again, this sentence contains double negative, which is grammatically incorrect. Go ahead and correct the sentence. Boys and girls, I'm sure you have, we did not have any to lend you. You have been doing such a fine job. And I'm sure you now have a clearer understanding of how negative sentences work. But before we go, let's recap. Sentences of negation or negative sentences state that something is not true or incorrect, or tells of something that would not occur. They usually include negative words such as no, not, none, no one, nobody, or nothing. By observing grammar rules, you can change positive sentences to negative sentences. It is important to note that there must never be a double negative in one sentence. So, boys and girls, that brings us to the end of our English language class for today. I trust that you will revise what you have learned and make an effort to employ it in your everyday life. It is at this juncture that I will say so long for now until we meet again for another English language lesson.